Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to show you how I figure out how fast to run. To do that I've got to do a lactate threshold test using my Garmin watch. So to do this test you need three things. You need a Garmin watch, an external heart rate monitor and some flat ground. So that's where we're going now, find some flat ground. See you soon. Those of you who have watched my vlog for a while, you know I've done a video on this test before, but I didn't really explain it that well. So I'm going to explain it in a little bit more detail here and then go through the test and then show you how it's done. I had planned to do this outside, but as you can see, weather's pretty miserable out here and you're going to see it, it's raining. So how this test works, okay, I basically go to the test on my watch, it then tells me, so to do a 15-minute warm-up, 10 to 15-minute warm-up, I do that, okay. Once I've done the warm-up, hit reset on the watch, and it tells me to run in a certain heart rate range for the next 3 to 4 minutes, and it tells me how long I'm going to be running for. Once I've done that, it then kicks up the heart rate ranges, okay, every 3 to 4 minutes. And the camera went flat. Okay, so as I was saying, basically every 3 to 4 minutes it jumps up in heart rate, so the intensity jumps up. You try and incrementally creep your pace up. And what it does there, after about 4 to 5 increment increases, the watch detects, most of the time, detects a lactate threshold heart rate, which is theoretically what the heart rate you can hold for an hour, and it also detects lactate threshold pace. And so that gives you a theoretical basis to then plug the information into a calculator to be able to calculate your pace zones. Back on with the test. Okay, warm up done and dusted. We're just about to tick over to 15 minutes and hit reset on the watch, and it'll tell me what to run in. Okay, so it's telling me to run 4 minutes at 134 to 153 beats per minute. For me, just a slight tick up. Just going to wind up to that zone. Alright, see you soon. Okay, so watch has just beeped. It's telling me now to up the pace to 153 to 163 for another 4 minutes. Alright, just ramping it up slowly, not going too hard. Let's go. Okay, watch has gone off again. That's another 4 minutes done. Now I've got another 4 minutes between 163 and 172. So things get hard to talk. Alright, see you next time. Alright, 3 minutes now. 172 to 182. Hard work. Okay, threshold detected. 171 beats per minute. I'll talk to you about what that means back in the car. Or back at home. Alright, see you soon. So the question now is, well, what do we do with this information? Okay, we've done the test and we've got our results. So according to the test, my lactate threshold heart rate is 171 beats per minute. So theoretically, I can hold that for an hour. My lactate threshold pace is 4 minutes 23 seconds per kilometre. Now, that's a drastic increase from last time, but I think it's within the realm of possibility considering how hot it is at the moment in Cairns. The heat here, the humidity in wet season, it's quite significant. Also, haven't been training that consistently over the last few months, so I can see that being the case. And that'll pretty rapidly improve. Alright, so what do I do with it? I go to the 80/20 website, okay, the 80/20 zone calculator, and I plug those two numbers in. First one goes in running heart rate, so I punch 171 in there, and it gives me a list of heart rate zones, okay? Now, they give me 7 zones, all right? Slightly different to the traditional 5 zones. I can go into more depth later on. The main ones that I use are zone 1 and 2 with that heart rate, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. The next part, we go down and punch in the 423 per kilometre for my lactate threshold pace. Now, what that then gives me, again, 7 pace zones that I use for my harder work. So, how do I use them? With the heart rate, okay, I'm mainly focused on zones 1 and 2, okay? And pretty much for my easy runs, The main focus is that number there, the top of zone 2, that 154 in this case. So basically what I do is I set up all of my easy runs, all of my warm-ups, all of my basic long run work, okay, and I set that up with a maximum heart rate of 154. Why do I do that? Because it works for me. It slows me down, okay? That's my biggest problem. I always run way too fast. So that slows me down that little bit. All of my easy work is done under that 154. So whether that's one day I could be running at 5:10 pace under that, or the next day I could be running at like 6-minute pace. Then there's the harder days, the workouts, the tempo sessions, all of that sort of stuff. And for that, in the warm-up, I use that heart rate calculation, that zone 2 number. But then once the work starts, then I switch to pace guided workouts. And that's something that Matt Fitzgerald recommends in his 80-20 running book, okay? So what I do there is I select the pace zones for each session, for each interval, okay? So say it's a tempo workout, the training session might tell me to do zone 3. So I'll set up a pace zone in my watch for between 423 and 443, okay? And the watch will give me alerts telling me to run between those paces if I'm running too slow or too fast, and keep me in that zone. Then I'll use pace zones again for the off section. If it tells me to run in zone 1 for that off section, then I use a pace zone rather than the heart rate, because what I've found when I'm doing that is that it gets me back into those heart rate zones quicker, and I just feel a little bit better at the end of each workout. I'm better able to judge my pacing. For my shorter intervals, I might use the zone 4 and zone 5 paces, depending on the length of the intervals and what I'm looking to get out of them. But then again, for the rest periods, I'll use the zone 1 pace calculations, okay? So that's a quick synopsis of how I use the 80-20 running to calculate my zones. I hope you found that useful. If you've got any questions, make sure you put them down below in the comments. If you found this useful, please hit the like button, because it tells me that what I've done here isn't a complete waste of time. But yeah, definitely, if you've got any questions, hit them up down below and I'll answer them as best I can. Thanks for watching. See you next time.